How's it going, everybody? My aha for the week comes from page 182 and 183, and it talks about the conflict management styles. And the ones that I wanted to talk about are avoidance and competition. The avoidance conflict style is like when you just try to avoid conflict, and that's for many reasons. Some of the reasons include it just makes you uncomfortable to deal with conflict. Sometimes in the book, it talks about how you don't want to hurt people's feelings, and I find myself in that position, avoiding conflict to spare people's feelings. But also, the competition on the opposite spectrum is when basically you want to win at the cost of somebody losing. So there's always going to be a winner and a loser in that case. And I find myself doing that too. But I think I have a good balance because I do care how people think and I know when to hold my tongue, but I'm also not afraid to battle it out, which is also good, I think. Which brings me to the next question. Is conflict always bad? And I say no, because conflict, when two people disagree and they debate what they believe, ideas start coming to the surface that weren't there before. I've seen many debates. The big one right now is the gun debate, where you have lots of people with passionate views and they believe in them strongly, but their conflict is what gets me thinking. It brings ideas like, hey, that guy does have a good point. And then it starts a thought chain, and I start doing my own little research. And that all comes from conflict. It gets things moving, and I think that's important for group work. On the other hand, groupthink. I don't think that there is a positive. That's my personal opinion. I don't think that there's a positive that can come out of groupthink. And the reason I believe so is because it doesn't encourage creative thinking or conflict. It just basically encourages the bottom line. And in the book, it has so many examples of things gone wrong, like the Challenger and Columbia shuttle disasters. There's some scientists and some people with, people at NASA um, who, didn't encourage asking those difficult questions. They were too worried about the bottom line. I'm sure that they had deadlines that NASA was pressing on them, and they were trying to make those deadlines at the expense of, not thinking through important things like maybe this rocket will explode. So, groupthink, my personal opinion, is not a good thing. And the last question is to provide, well, it's not a question, it's to provide an example of how groupthink is demonstrated in social media. This is an interesting question because I just read an article about how social media causes groupthink. It was talking about the 2016 presidential elections, and it was talking about how so when we use social media, we create a social media bubble around ourselves, meaning that the algorithms on Google and Facebook, they remember what you search and what you're interested in. For example, if I am a huge, uh, Donald Trump fan, and I like all the Donald Trump pages, um, and like Republican Party, then I am going to start seeing a lot more Donald Trump stuff on my wall. So these algorithms are designed to show you what you're interested in, which really prevents you from being exposed to um, political opinions that differ from your own. And in that way, I think, yeah, groupthink really does take place because it's not encouraging debate because I'm not hearing anything that oppose my current views. So yeah, I think it does have a tendency for groupthink, and it's not good for the democracy that we live in.